Hi everybody, I'm Jim Kramer, Senior Vice President and Driver for BigFoot 4x4. Welcome to the first edition of BigFoot Racing Team Video Magazine. In this premiere edition, we'll see what's been going on with Bigfoot in the past several months. Plus, we'll take a look at the highlights from the very first all-Bigfoot Motorsports show and explore what makes these vehicles more durable and competitive. But first, let's take a glance at the evolution of Bigfoot.
Design, test, improve. Then test and improve again. These are the basic steps in the evolution of any concept. You start with a blue sky idea, take it to a working prototype, then learn through hands-on experience, always adapting, adding new technology, finding new ways to build a better machine. The evolution of Bigfoot began in 1974. From the family Ford pickup truck to the most popular and successful monster trucks of all time.
Bigfoot started out as a family pickup. It wasn't Bigfoot at the time. It was a 1974 Ford. We opened a four-wheel drive shop, and then we used the truck as promotion for the shop. You know, we put bigger tires and wheels on it, put a bigger engine in it, put all our accessories on it. And it sold product. It was our demonstration of the products we sold. As years progressed, the truck got bigger and we did more things with it. We started doing exhibitions. Later on, what happened with Bigfoot is they started doing racing.
As more and more trucks began to enter the circuit, the very nature of monster truck events began to change as well. From friendly demonstrations to all-out competition, Bigfoot led the revolution.
We made a lot of changes on 4. Later on, we built Bigfoot 6 and 7, and each time we improved the trucks with things that would help us racing. Bigger engines, a little bit more suspension, a little stouter here, something a little different on it. We took it as far as we could because what they started doing now the races were getting faster. And we started considering, well, we're probably doing something wrong here. We're putting weight and mass into this, and now we need to go lighter. Lighter will make the trucks faster. So that's when we went into designing a new truck.
In order to maintain a clear performance lead, Bob Chandler began investigating new construction materials and design concepts. Inevitably, he was drawn to CAD. Through this revolutionary computer-aided design system, Bob Chandler was able to speed up the evolutionary process and solve a multitude of performance-limiting problems that had plagued Bigfoot and all monster trucks from the very beginning.
Before I designed a new truck, which was Bigfoot 8, was our first computer design, first suspension monster truck of mine. We did a lot of research. I looked into off-road racing, I looked at drag racing, I looked at all types of motorsport. We knew we had to go to a lighter chassis, which we decided on a tubular chassis. We knew we had to go to a better shock, something with more travel, more that would handle the masses that we're running. We started in the computer, in the CAD program, designed the whole thing in the computer, from the frame to the axles to the suspension to the cantilever beams to the position of mounting the engine and transmission, the drive shaft lengths, the track bar lengths, everything is done in the computer. We built the truck in less than 3 months because we had everything there. When somebody had a question, we'd go out and look in the computer and we could measure things out in the computer. It told us exactly what length things were. This also cut down on our costs quite a bit because all the work was on the one man in a computer rather than several people putting a truck together, testing it, going out, coming back, taking it back apart. It was all done prior to building the truck. So the the majority of the testing was done prior to using it, before the truck was being built. A major problem with monster trucks is the ratio between the sprung and the unsprung. And all other motorsports is opposite of what we are. Our unsprung weight, the axles, the tires, and wheels, are heavier than our sprung weight, which is the body. And to counter that, we had to do a lot of research, and I think I've came up with an answer, which is why I have the shocks at a different angle than most vehicles. And it seems to correct our problem. With this new design, using a cantilever mechanism, I'm able to get a lot more suspension travel. We use about a 19-inch gas shock, and right now we're getting 24 inches of suspension travel. We're working on a new truck that'll probably run 30 inches. We had problems with the old C-channel frames on the older trucks. They were very heavy, and they're designed for one purpose. With this new application, with the truck that we wanted to put a lot of suspension on, it was hard to get the strength you needed in specific places. When you use a tubular chassis, you can make it lighter than a C-channel heavy frame, and yet have more strength where you need it. All these changes to computer-aided design, the suspension, we're even cutting our tires to make them lighter and making them get better bite. I think we have better drivers now, have given us a lot better competitive edge. And monster truck racing is getting very competitive nowadays, and it's making a competitive sport, and I think we have a good chance of winning the series.
And as much as things change and advance, some things will always remain the same.
We use all Ford components in all the BigFoot trucks. There's 12 right now, working on number 13. They all run Ford engines, Ford transmissions. The newer trucks now have fiberglass Ford bodies. They're just fiberglass, so they're lighter. We couldn't have gone this far without Ford support.
The evolution continues. New ideas, new materials, new manufacturing techniques, new technology. And you can rest assured that if it can be done faster, safer, or better, BigFoot will be leading the way, the most innovative and successful monster truck of all time.
Last summer in Nashville, Tennessee was the first ever BigFoot Bash. This was an event in which BigFoot vehicles competed against each other in car crushing, drag racing, and obstacle course racing. Let's go to the competition. you've heard about Bigfoot's latest rival, snakebite, and its driver, Colt Cobra from Cobra Creek, Colorado. Now that's a mouthful, but let's watch this masked driver and snake-eyed monster truck in action. You want to be sure and see the second edition of Bigfoot Racing Team Video Magazine, where we'll talk to Colt Cobra and find out what's behind his mask. Because of sponsors like Ford, Bigfoot is able to remain a leader in monster truck technology. BASF is another company that keeps Bigfoot looking good all the time.
The old saying, what goes up must come down, is certainly true of the monster truck sport. And a big part of the sport's excitement comes from the fact that when these giant trucks do go up, you never know how they might come down. The fans, of course, love this, but it can represent a major aggravation for the guys whose job it is to put the monster trucks back together. We talked with Bob Chandler, owner of Bigfoot, and watched his team to find out how they handle things when Bigfoot stubs its big toe.
Hi, I'm Bob Chandler. Monster trucks are very destructive, not only to the cars they crush, but to themselves. Nowadays, we're racing other monster trucks at speeds up to 60 miles an hour. And we break a lot of parts, mechanical parts and also body parts. We have a truck here with 3 upside-down stickers on it. This is our way of indicating that the truck has been rolled 3 times and required a full body repair each time. This is a scenario that we hate to see when a truck returns from a race.
In the past, this took up to a month to get this truck back on the road. But now, with fiberglass bodies and newer developments in paintwork, this truck can be turned around in about a week's time. Fiberglass bodies inherently are very easy to repair and sand and prep for paint. And with RM Diamond paint, this truck can be prepped and painted in about 8 hours. Doesn't sound possible? It is, and the results are fantastic. Let's take a look. When a panel comes in to be painted, cleaning it is the first step. After the cleaning, the panel is sanded and any minor body work needed is done. After the body work is finished, high build primer is applied. This high build covers the scratches, pinholes, and any other minor imperfections that might be in the panel. After the high build primer is dry, the panel is sanded and prepared for the final prime. The final coat of primer is then applied, and after it is dry, it's sanded with 400 grit paper. Before the panel is ready for its final paint, it must be cleaned once again and wiped down with a tack cloth. The panel is now ready to spray. The first step is applying a coat of tinted sealer to hide any of the sanded through areas that might be on the panel. This sealer also helps the paint to cover more quickly. After the sealer flash dries in about 20 minutes, 2 coats of base color are applied. After about another 20 minutes, the striping is taped off. And once the stripes are done, the panel is ready for the clear coat. Applying about 3 coats of clear coat really makes the paint come alive. The new body panels are done and are ready to be put back on the truck the very next day.
This beautiful paint reminds me of an old cliche, beauty is only skin deep. In the case of Monster Truck, that's really about as far as it goes. Anyway, Bigfoot 9 here will be ready to go out and thrill the crowds in about a week, hopefully this time by not rolling over.
In our next segment, we'll review some of the accomplishments of the Bigfoot racing team, specifically some past achievements of Bigfoot 4, Bigfoot 8, and Bigfoot 9. One of the Bigfoot racing team's most recent improvements is the use of ZF axles. Let's take an in-depth look at how Bigfoot and ZF make a winning combination.
The Bigfoot race team continually strives to find new components and new ways to get a competitive edge on its competition. Bigfoot has found that new edge with ZF axles. ZF axles improves the safety and performance of Bigfoot in a number of ways. First, ZF shaves 200 to 300 pounds of weight off of the current axles used. Plus, hours of labor is saved in fabrication time. ZF axles only require mounting brackets to be installed, as opposed to the current axle used, which has to be fabricated out of two separate axles, sometimes requiring up to 80 man-hours of labor, which doesn't include the axle housing and axle heat treatment. Increased safety is also achieved because of the wheel end brakes. Wet disc brakes wear longer and also will not fade as fast. Most axles used have the disc brakes mounted on the pinion shaft, therefore creating the possibility of losing braking power to that axle if a pinion would break. The wet disc brakes also increases Bigfoot's stopping ability. This is crucial, especially in turning courses, where a lot of braking is done. Brake fade is reduced and the brakes will also wear longer. The limited slip option also makes sharp turns possible and also helps Bigfoot get around those turns faster with very limited tire scuff. Plus, with ZF, there are 3 axle ratios to choose from. This gives Bigfoot the option to tailor the axle to any application for optimum performance. ZF axles, giving Bigfoot added performance to stay out in front of the competition. ZF and Bigfoot, a winning combination.
Well, that about wraps it up for this edition of the Bigfoot Racing Team Video Magazine. Be sure to look for the next edition featuring more of the latest Bigfoot action. I'm Jim Kramer, and on behalf of everyone here at Bigfoot, we hope to see you the next time Bigfoot comes to your area.
Welcome to the second edition of the Bigfoot Video Magazine. Hi, I'm Bob Chandler, the owner and creator of BigFoot, the original monster truck. In this edition, you're going to see some of the latest innovations on the newest member of the Bigfoot racing team, Bigfoot number 10. You'll also get to see where all the Bigfoots live when they're not on the road, and where all the Bigfoot fan club members get their toys and souvenirs. So sit back and get ready for the latest and greatest from Bigfoot.
BigFoot 10 is setting the pace in innovative monster truck design, manufacture, and performance. Concepted and designed from the ground up by Bob Chandler using AutoCAD computer-aided design, BigFoot 10 incorporates a long list of cutting-edge, high-performance features. For starters, BigFoot 10 has the latest advancements in complete tubular body, frame, and driver's cage. This tubular design greatly increases strength while substantially decreasing weight. The result is a more rugged, faster, and safer vehicle. This tubular frame is covered by a 1992 F-250 fiberglass Ford pickup body with special RM Diamond paint in BigFoot blue. BigFoot 10 also sports a Lund cap spoiler and visor. All body panels and accessories, by the way, are fabricated and assembled at BigFoot's headquarters in St. Louis, Missouri. To keep BigFoot 10 fast on its feet, there's also a monster under the hood, or should we say, under the cab. BigFoot 10 is the first Bigfoot to sport a mid-engine configuration for better vehicle balance and stability for those long jumps. BigFoot 10 packs a mighty 572 cubic inch Ford power plant with an 871 BDS blower, fuel injection, ISKI cams, and a Ford C6 transmission with a TCI race converter. To keep BigFoot 10 light on its feet, Bob Chandler uses 8 nitrogen-charged shocks custom made by BigFoot and ZF axles with internal all-wheel wet disc brakes. Under all of the above, BigFoot 10 rides high on 66-inch Firestone flotation tires. Other BigFoot 10 features include hydraulic front and rear steering, KC off-road lights, Hedman headers, autometer gauges, RJS safety equipment, and Excel products. And BigFoot 10 runs only on Sunoco racing fuel. How does this monster stack up? 10 feet high, 11.5 feet wide, and 10,000 pounds of metal-munching, dirt-digging, hair-raising excitement. Just watch.
Welcome to the Bigfoot store. Here at Bigfoot's headquarters you can find everything from Mattel's Bigfoot Hot Wheels and Crunch Arena toys to Bigfoot t-shirts, jackets, posters, and pictures. You will also see the Bigfoot battery-operated ride-ons from Power Wheels and even Bigfoot go-karts. You can also take a walk through the Bigfoot Museum. In the museum you can see several of the Bigfoot vehicles on display. You can have your picture taken in a Bigfoot cab and make believe you're a Bigfoot driver. Plus there's always the Bigfoot video room, the mini theater. Then take a walk to the Bigfoot shop overlook and see the mechanics and crews getting all the Bigfoot vehicles ready for the next round of racing competition. Don't forget to go outside and see one Bigfoot no one can miss, Bigfoot number 5. Bigfoot number 5 is the biggest monster truck and the biggest pickup in the world. It stands 15 foot tall and with the dual 10-foot tires is about 24 foot wide, weighing in at 14 tons. So the next time you're driving through St. Louis, make sure you look for Bigfoot and come by and see us. We're right on Interstate 270 at North Lindbergh Boulevard. Bigfoot is always traveling to new towns and places, and this year is no exception. Bigfoot 6 is on a tour that will take it to almost 100 cities in England, Scotland, Ireland, and Iceland. And Bigfoot 3 is also doing a small tour in Venezuela, South America. People all over the world will be able to watch Bigfoot in action. Let's see where else Bigfoot will be in the next several months. This past fall, when Bigfoot was at SEMA, the Specialty Equipment Marketing Association show in Las Vegas, Nevada, Bigfoot driver and Vice President Jim Kramer ran into the people of Road Test magazine, and they decided to take Bigfoot out into the desert to have a little fun.
"20 miles east of the Vegas Strip in all its man-made glitter lies an off-road playground nestled in the foothills of the Nevada desert. Shaped by nature's hand, this rugged expanse of sand and hills provided a perfect setting to let the world's most famous monster truck, Bigfoot, stretch its legs. But unleashing all the power and strength of this 5-ton behemoth isn't easy. Prepping the world's biggest F-150 is a demanding 3-hour process. At 10.5 feet tall and 20 feet long, Bigfoot looks strange exiting the carrier. But its travel tires were soon replaced with Firestone's jumbo 43 by 66 flotation tires. But mounting wheels and tires that weigh nearly 1,000 pounds each requires a bit more technique and muscle than normal. These 22-inch wide agricultural tires, which run a low 8 to 10 pounds pressure, augment the truck's unique 2-to-1 cantilevered rear suspension with twin Dotex shocks on each wheel. But Bigfoot is far more than its gargantuan tires. This truck is the result of Bob Chandler's 18 years of experience building monster trucks. Careful construction and Chandler's belief in advanced computer-aided design have paid off.
We started in the computer, in the CAD program, designed the whole thing in the computer, from the frame to the axles to the suspension to the cantilever means to the position of mounting the engine and transmission, the drive shaft lengths, the track bar lengths. Everything is done in the computer.
That approach, coupled with countless hours of extreme testing at their Hazelwood, Missouri facility, is what's made this the winningest monster truck in history, with victories in over 90% of the races it enters. But today, Bigfoot and driver Jim Kramer got the chance to let the popular $100,000 truck stretch out a bit in the wide open spaces.
All right, we're ready to roll.
With the ground shaking under its powerful engine and its gigantic tires clawing at the sand, Bigfoot frolicked in the dunes like a pup off its leash. And the truck that draws hundreds of thousands of stadium fans also drew a crowd in the middle of the desert, and for good reason. Just being near Bigfoot evokes excitement.
Chance of a lifetime to be able to go ahead and see something like this.
Although America's favorite truck makes the adults smile,
That is amazing. That is real amazing.
it's the little ones that love Bigfoot most. Mindful of its special appeal to young people, the Bigfoot organization makes appearances in support of children's causes like the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Shriners Hospitals, and the Just Say No campaign.
Well, the greatest thing about running Bigfoot is to see the kids' faces when it pulls in and you do a good show that really lights up. The kids really endear themselves to the truck, and so do the parents. It's a shared thing with the parents and the children.
Over the years, Bigfoot's crushed a lot of cars for kids. Jim Kramer credits its success to an advanced suspension system, but he also likes Bigfoot's 496-inch big block SVO V8. And it takes a lot of power for the T6 automatic transmission to get nearly 2 tons of wheels and tires spinning. The Gary Duckworth-built, blown, alcohol-burning, all-aluminum motor puts out a whopping 1,300 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and a phenomenal 1,140 foot-pounds of torque at 5,200 RPM. Auxiliary power to operate the truck's hydraulic 4-wheel steering and brakes comes from a small gas engine that also keeps the 1,100-amp battery charged up. Bigfoot handles remarkably well. 4-wheel drive and all-wheel steering let the 11.5-foot-wide monster make tighter diameter turns than a stock F-150. And the 10,000-pound fiberglass-bodied monster stops well, too. Its four-wheel disc brakes are a wet design sealed within 10 lug hubs attached to specially made ZF axles. Fuel economy, however, is not one of Bigfoot's attributes. During an average 200-foot full-throttle indoor run, the thirsty Ford consumes 4 gallons of alcohol. That's the equivalent of a gallon every 50 feet, or an unbelievable 1,056 gallons per mile. After 10 hours in the desert, Bigfoot had used a lot of fuel, climbing hills and clearing jumps. But today, like most days, it accomplished a more important mission. The king of monster trucks had made a few more friends. Chris Bungard for Road Test Magazine.
There is going to be a new attraction down in Branson, Missouri this year. Besides seeing all the country and western shows and Silver Dollar City, you'll be able to take a ride in a real Bigfoot monster truck. Bigfoot will take you on an authentic car crash, and you will also go monster truck off-roading. You can also drive a Bigfoot go-kart and race your friends around a track. So the next trip to Branson, Missouri, make sure and stop and drive a Bigfoot go-kart or take a ride in Bigfoot, the original monster truck. From all the Bigfoot family, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon in a town near you or on the next edition of the Bigfoot Video Magazine.